All right, guys. In the top right side, Gaming Gladiators SHIN playing some balanced patch games up against OLIVEIRA. That's right, guys. It is the just the LiuLi Cup 27 round robin format. Players playing for a bunch of cash based on their placings. SHIN, OLIVEIRA. We've also got like Hero and Nightmare in this one, but just going to be casting this series today. Best of 3. And we're going to see what goes down on the new patch. Now, this is, of course, not the most recent version with the 3 supply Ghost and the changed Cyclone, but we still get to see, like, the supply drop cooldown. Actually, we might see the Broodlord. If we do, that'll be cool, because I haven't seen too many games of the Broodlord, and this is the Broodlord before they've removed, like, the bug fix and all that sort of stuff. So if we do see it, it would be kind of cool just to watch and go, oh, you know, how good is that Broodlord in action in the hands of someone like SHIN? Because SHIN actually makes Broodlords versus Terran. He all-ins against Zerg, against Protoss a lot, but against Terran, he will rush Broodlord sometimes. Now, he's played a 15-15 opening as SHIN. I wonder if he's going to do this Dark style and try to play Gasless. By the way, guys, is it just me? Is that a roach? That's so funny. So for those who don't know, SHIN is what many people in the industry, many pro players would refer to as a roach boy. He's a guy who likes to make roaches and just hope he catches his opponent off guard and mess them up with all sorts of gambly timings. And I'll tell you, he's so good at them. He's so good. I think he's owning who he is as a player. I think he's very aware. I remember after like Katowice messaging him and I was like, hey, you know, you smashed all of the best Terrans in the tournament, including Clem. You barely lost a series to Bunny. But like, what was your secret? And he was like, oh, nothing. I was like, what? What do you mean? And he's like, I literally just gambled on an aggressive build in game 1 and it worked every series. So then they played scared in game 2 and or game 3. And I just played greedy in those games. And I was like, that's kind of what my analysis was. But like, I thought he was going to drop some more knowledge. He's like, no, I just gambled on some roach timings and they worked every game. And then Terran was paranoid and I got to be greedy game 2 and game 3. I'm like, okay. No, this is a cool opening. He's gone 8 Zerglings off of 15-15, guys. His economy is not very high. Oh, we're not injecting? Oh, he's going to connect with creep straight away. Interesting. Very interesting, so that his queens can move back and forth as needed. 8 Zerglings is a lot. Unfortunately for him, guys, he's finding a wall off. So the downside is you don't get to run in and kill the command center and do big damage like you could against a 1-Rex expand. The upside is he can wait for those add-ons to build, and then he can go kill them. He can wait till Stim's like halfway done, and then run in and kill it. So maybe not halfway done, but maybe about 310 is probably when I'd go in if I was SHIN. Maybe 310, 320. Because you don't want to wait too long. You just want to wait for the reactor to be finished, the tech lab to be finished, so they can't cancel them, and you're like, mwah. Free kills, Reapers on the wrong side of the map. Dude, SHIN's so clever. SHIN is so clever. Drone's going down, though. OLIVEIRA's going to make him pay a price. Going to build a wall around you and make you pay for it, you dirty Zerg. I don't know why OLIVEIRA just went that way, guys. Oh, gosh. Oh, you repair the depot. Repair the depot. Ollie. Oh, gosh, he's tunnel visioning on the Reapers. I mean, he's killed like 5 drones. Might be worth it. Depot's going to go down. He repairs the barracks, but not the depot. Get the Reapers out of here at least. Oh, he's going to lose one. Another. So that's 2 Reapers for 5 drones, and he loses his reactor in his tech lab. And you know what, guys? He was going 3 racks. So this is extra bad. If he was building a 3rd command center, this wouldn't matter. But he's literally gambling on getting damage done with the 3 racks, which is now delayed by... Oh, 4 racks even, sorry. 4 racks. He's got a tech lab up here, which is now massively, massively delayed. So... OLIVEIRA is right now up a very muddy creek. He doesn't have a paddle, and he's going to have to get his hands dirty. On the other hand, SHIN did build 8 Zerglings really bloody early off of 15-15, which is a build that already puts you kind of behind on drones, and you're meant to catch up on it later. So, I don't know, man. We'll see how it goes. Looks like he lifted a barracks there to kill the Overlord on the pillar. That Overlord probably should have tried to run away knowing that he was going to do that, but SHIN a little bit slow to think of doing that, and does get punished. And now we see a factory here. So 4 barracks into factory, still no add-ons. Really, Ollie? Is he just going to move out with Stim? I think he's going to hit with Stim, no shields. He's got to go now, though. Yeah, he's got to go out right now so he can hit right when Stim finishes and try to kill the 3rd base. He's now, yeah. So he said, look, this is the timing. I'm going to go 16 Marines, get as much damage done, raise the depot now, build another tech lab or reactor here, and hopefully he can transition into something behind it. Shin has no idea what's happening. Shin has a roach horn, but he hasn't started roaches. Shin! Shin! Oh no, he's just started roaches. He's not expecting this. You killed the reactor and tech lab, so you get to be extra greedy because he can't have stim and these things yet. But he has 4 barracks, and this is what Shin didn't count on. He still doesn't know about the Marines. He's waiting for stim to finish. He's got 6 roaches building. I don't think that's enough. I don't think that's enough, guys. This is a real problem. This is a real problem. This is a real problem right now. Shin's queens have nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. The roach is getting hammered. Oh man, the drones get blitzed. The roaches go down. The queens are going to die as well. That's a big timing. Don't get me wrong. The Marines don't have any healing. They don't have any longevity. This will get cleaned up eventually. But I think that was a really successful attack. He just got 3 queens, 4 roaches, a bunch of drones. That was like 10 more drones. And you can see the units lost tab 2-1. Now, no third command center. He's kind of stuck doing what appears to be like a 2-base timing here is Oliveira. There we go. Starts a third on location. And he holds onto the watchtower. Hard for roaches to engage here. The vision advantage the Marines could get. But yeah, I think with the roaches going around the side to give vision, good choice to pull back here for Ollie. Roaches and Marines have the exact same movement speed. There's more Marines on the left. These Marines are going to run this way. He's going to try and ambush. Bit of a crazy move here for Oliveira. I think this is really good for Shin. That was a bad play for Ollie. He's desperately trying to defend his third command center. He's not going to be able to. Shin might just have this. But Shin's been scared back. He doesn't want to risk going up the ramp now. If you keep the command center alive, I think that's worth it for Ollie. And Ollie gets away with it. He gets away with a bit of murder there. He's going to drop a scan. He sees the third, and he's like, okay, your third's just now saturated. Mine's finishing. And I think he feels fine economically with where that puts him. Now, we do have a barracks that just built, which means he's gone up to 5 barracks. 2 more reactors building. 3 more reactors even. And the Overseer's going to see all this. Next up, he needs to go second engineering bay and armory so that he can go for 2-2 upgrades. Double drop in the middle will clear out the watchtower. The watchtower on this map has got to be one of the most obnoxious things to deal with as a Zerg. Really favors the long range player to hang around that watchtower. Makes it really hard to tell. Are they going to dive around the back with drops, or are they going to control the watchtower? Both very hard to deal with. Double drop over there. Roaches in the main base. It's enough roaches. You can't unload on top of that. You'll lose too many. The 1-1 upgrades. Shin's going to go Infestation Pit. He's going to play a longer game. I would imagine he goes straight for Lurkers. I imagine a quick hive and Lurkers is the play. Can he get the Overlord? Yeah, but he loses 2 Marines. It's an even trade. Not that good for Terran. I'd say Shin's very happy with that. Armory comes down now, so the second engineering bay is there. First one's still upgrading. 4th command center is building nice and early. Yeah, I think he's trying to get back to a more normal game is Mr. Ollie. Second factory goes down. Overseer with the contaminate. Just imagine that, man. Imagine that. Someone just throws a giant living poop all over your base. Gross. It's kind of like, it's like it gets covered in like a fumigation tent, you know? Except the fumigation tent has a tail that's wiggling excitedly for some reason. It's the only way, that's the first time it really registered for me that the Contaminate has its own wiggling tail. Like, that's so gross, man. Anyways, 4 more drones building, Link Speed on the way. He's going to try and go back. So he's already got a Bailey Nest as Shin. Shin's going to stop investing in roaches, start focusing more on Zerglings soon. He's going to split his army up. Do you like the choice to go for the Spore Crawler? How many queens are on this map, guys? Oh, he's only got 3 queens. Shin never rebuilt his queens. Oh my lord, Shin. There's greed and then there's whatever you're doing in this game, mate. This is a ridiculous... He didn't split the roaches preemptively. Shin really being lazy on this drop. He should have had his army half split there from the very beginning. He's got a few roaches on the right, but that double drop could be effective. He's going to scan the roaches though. Happy to engage to keep that creep spread alive. Trading roaches here, you could argue, is worth it if it stops him from clearing the creep during the scan, right? Which it does. So Shin, happy to take some, you know, slightly weird trades, but gets himself a few units there. Not too bad. Only loses 1 roach. It's amazing creep spread considering the low queen count. Absolutely, guys. I guess he hasn't really lost too many active tumors this game. Only 4 queens on the map. I would just not be comfortable only on 4 queens. That's why he's going 3 Vipers, because he realizes, well, drops are just going to annoy the heck out of me, so I need to go extra parasitic bombs to deal with this. Remember, if this goes to late game, Ghosts is still 2 supply on this patch. The Planetary, only 2 armor down from 3. Broodlords will be more powerful. Ghosts will also be more powerful. And it looks like we're getting to that stage of the game. Oh, damages medevac, doesn't quite kill it. 5th base on the way for Shin. Ultra Cavern coming in as well. Adrenal Glands, +1 melee, +2 carapace. Medevacs moving around the map. Biles unable to land. Oh, it's a big push out, guys. Here we go. Oliveira looks pretty serious about this. He has +2 weapons finished, +2 armor on the way. He's building a 5th command center. Planetary on the left is up, will defend itself from those Zerglings. Double drop on the right side, looking for the cancel on the 5th base. He's going to dive up there. Not really scanning the creep on the right at all, only on the left side. He's going to grab a Ravager, pick up, and then maybe move into that main base. Interesting drop play here from Oliveira. Crazy move here. Parasitic Bomb and those drops would be very nice. I'm surprised he didn't drop one there. The Vipers want to engage here with the tanks, I guess. That's what's causing him issues right now, is doesn't want to deal with this drop, but he has to. Drop, gonna pull back. And if he can come in with flanking Vipers and Blinding Cloud all the tanks, I do think Shin can clean this up and roll Oliveira over. Despite this game being back and forth in the early game, the Zerglings did big damage. The Marine counterattack did big damage. It was such a great call from Oliveira to commit so hard to that attack. That medevac goes down. Bit of a mistake for Oliveira. Oliveira with a fantastic pre-spread, though. He's one of the best Terrans when it comes to pre-spreading his army. Vipers coming in. Here we go. Viper, Ling, Bane, Roach. Blinding Clouds are immaculate. Putting that green stuff all over your face. And he's just not able to fire until all the tanks are dead. I mean, the split was great for Oliveira, but the Blinding Clouds were just way too effective. Oliveira needed to push in harder and faster before Shin was ready to come in with the engagement, or he needed to back off a little bit, spread even wider so that it was hard for Shin to get such an all-encompassing engagement. Now Oliveira, way behind, realizes he needs to turtle. He's like investing in ghosts, all the upgrades, all these different things. He needs to just sit at home and weather the storm. But there's ultras on the way, and I do not think Shin is going to give him time to remax. Bio moving up the left side, picking off a bunch of creep tumors. Marine Marauder does all get saved. Nice move there. Vikings out. Dude, I love the Vikings. You might wonder why Vikings. It's to deal with the Vipers. 2 Vipers died in the previous fight. Only 1 left, and it is damaged. That just makes sure they die. Even if you don't land the EMPs, the Vipers are going to be really nice. Denying Overseers and the like as well. The Vikings, just a few of them out will give you great value in the long run. Oliveira's back at 175 supply, but he's down 30 army supply right now. A lot of his supply is in production. Shin is on the map. Shin is max. Shin is ready to go. He's rearing. He's hungry. Hungry hippos. Mass snipe comes down. 1 ultra does go down, guys. Another ultra takes a few snipes to the face, but there's not enough snipes to deal with them all. Mass ultra bane. There is not enough Terran to survive. The Liberator's trying to siege up in an emergency position. The Lingbane ultra's inside the base. He's on top of your face. And this is not a good situation for Oliveira. That push getting cleaned up by the Blinding Cloud was a disaster, but he keeps the tank alive. He does keep the tank alive. Blinding Cloud, Parasitic Bomb does take out that Liberator. He's in the 3rd base. That 1 Ultralisk is going to ruin the economy of Oliveira. If he can't get rid of the Roaches, he's screwed. He needs to get rid of that Ultra. Oh man, he's in so much trouble. He does run the SCVs down the bottom. There is a Planetary up. That's a good evacuation. Oliveira avoids losing the game. Shin, though, still making Ultras. Now, I would argue Ultras are not the play at this stage, but if you're going to do it, you want to attack with half your army down here, bunch of Ultra Bane A move. You want to hit this side with Vipers as well. You want to try and click as many Lings on these 2 turrets as possible, and then abduct or Blinding Cloud these tanks in the Planetary. You can smash through there, especially if you have enough Banelings to just start blowing up Planetaries, which I think at this point Shin's pretty rich on 80 workers, but he's not rich enough to just make mass Baneling and throw it away. This next attack needs to find value. He can't just be too wasteful. He's already down 3,000 resources in the units lost. Yes, he's got a gold-based mining. He needs to take another hatchery as well, to be fair, because Shin's economy is not that strong. He's going to attack on the right side. Sensor Tower sees him, though. Ghosts coming forward. Lings on top. Oh, those ghosts are in trouble. Nice links around. Banelings are going to blow up this base. This is a massive win for Shin. Ultras over here. Clean up that bio that's left unattended. Oliveira does not have the numbers. And that should be the beginning of the end. Just the supply-wise, I mean, unless Oliveira pulls a Maru and Shin does a Ragnarok, and that's a combination which we rarely see. We haven't seen a Ragnarok versus a Maru since Ragnarok played Maru in the grand finals of GSL. For those who don't know, Ragnarok is Shin's old name. Chucking a Ragnarok is where you basically just grab 100 Banelings and roll them into a choke point. Chucking a Maru is when you make a comeback from a position where no Terran has any right to come back from. And those two things colliding, well, that is an absolute moonshot, which of course was not going to happen there. SHIN does take map 1 after a really fun interactive early game. Alright, guys. Game 2 here. We've got SHIN in the bottom right side of the map, Ollie in the top left. And Ollie had some great moments. SHIN had some great moments. I love the way SHIN held those 8 Zerglings back at the start and just got good damage with them. Got the depot. I also love that Oliveira got like 5 drones with his Reapers during it because there was no Lings at home. On the other hand, losing the depot wasn't great. The Marine timing was amazing for Oliveira. But then likewise, I'm not going to rebuild my Queens. My name's SHIN. I took a bunch of damage. I'm not going to rebuild my Queens. I am just going to go straight for Triple Viper to make up for it. Like, that was cool. And that Triple Viper paid off big time. And remember, I was like, why not Blinding Parasitic Bomb the medevac? Because he didn't want to wait for the energy. He knew he needed 6 Blinding Clouds to pull off that hold on his third base, and he pulled that hold off, and it won him the game. So hats off to SHIN there. Played just heavy, ultra, overwhelming style from that point on, and Oliveira never got the chance to get enough ghosts up to deal with it. Just, you know, remember, 4 snipes per ultra used to be 3. It does make a difference, right? And that was the previous patch. That was months and months and months ago when they did that. Now, Side Delta's a good map for mobility, good for multi-prong. Broodlord's pretty weak on this map. Ghosts, weaker on this map as well. It's more of a map where ultras can reign supreme, where bio and lib and multi-prong and bio mine is very common here rather than tanks, because you often want to just get the fighting going everywhere and get all over it. Would you rather drink some ethanol or 3 spoonfuls of Vegemite? 3 spoonfuls of Vegemite. Drinking pure ethanol, isn't that like real? That would get you super drunk, wouldn't it? Some ethanol? I mean, you said some. We don't know. Some's not defined. 3 spoonfuls of Vegemite is just putting a lot of salt in your mouth, which is like a bit unpleasant. Number 1, didn't define how much some ethanol is. Number 2, drinking pure alcohol is probably pretty bad for you, I would imagine. I imagine that like rots your brain, right? Does it actually kill you if you drink pure ethanol? Chat says it'll get you super dead. Maybe. Is that a thing? I feel like it'll just rot your brain a little. Just tanks your liver. Your liver can't process it if it's 100%. Oof. Ouchies. If you just had a shot, it's probably okay, but if you drink more than a shot, it's probably going to have pretty severe effects. All right, guys, we've got Queens building it. This is a 15-15. Notice he didn't build any Zerglings. So I think because people are so good at defending the 2 Zerglings that run around the Reaper, he doesn't really believe in it anymore, which is fair. Marine plus SCV micro would have dealt with it. Now, he's trying to go for a quick third. I don't really rate 15-15 as an opening for going for a standard third timing. And then again, actually, maybe I should. Because if we think about it, this allows him to defend without building any Zerglings. And as long as he can spend his Lava Inject in the main, which he's been doing pretty well, spreads creep from the natural super early. Okay, I admire it. Actually, I love it. SHIN's openings are just the best. Anytime I say, I don't really like what SHIN's doing in a situation, I almost always analyze it afterwards, understand why he's doing it, and I almost always come away going, that's awesome. I should learn how to do that. That's actually really good. Command Center coming up on the high ground. So it's a 3cc build. Looks like a Hellion Banshee. One of Oliveira's favorites. I wouldn't be surprised if Oliveira hits him with the 8 racks, right? Grab this Zerg right by the 4th base. Try to get forwards and do some damage. Alright, Hatchery did take damage from that Reaper Grenade, guys. That 5 hit points. Absolutely devastating. Watch it slowly regen back to 1500. He's actually going Banshee Cloak. This is not as common. Oliveira normally likes to go Cloakless Banshee, but I guess he randomizes it enough. So you never know, right? Because if he was too predictably skipping Cloak, people would just skip Spore Crawlers. Overlord tries to sacrifice in. He's going to see the Cloak. Could be a fake, of course, but decent scouting there. Chat's now debating, saying apparently you can't get 100% alcohol ethanol. It stops at 95%. To get it to 100%, you would need to have other alcohols mixed in with it. Interesting. Guys, chemists in the chat type 1. Anyone who's got a degree with chemistry. There's usually 1 or 2 chemists hanging around. All right, Hellions going to poke in and out. All right, guys, the guys typing 1 in the chat, just so you know, they're lying. Don't listen to them. This is like the same. Whenever we ask for lawyers or doctors in chat, there's always like way more. We're like, I need a lawyer. And I'm like, you're in your underpants and you don't have a job. You're unemployed. And they're like, you got me. And I'm like, yeah, of course. And they could be telling. It's 50-50, honestly, with Twitch chat. You never know. You never know. All right, double Evo Chambers on the way. He's going to go greedy double upgrades. Where are the Spore Crawlers? They are finished. Looks like 1, 2. Did he build one in the natural? Yeah, pretty safe. And just 5 wrecks. So just 2 Banshees on the left, Hellions on the right. Now, you normally want to keep your Queens split. Where are they, though? Ah, moving them into the main. With no Lair, no Overseer, the Banshees could find a lot of damage. This is a bit of a gamble for Shin. Like, he knew there was Banshees coming, and he's just relying on Spores. But yeah, that means he has to cancel the 4th. But fair enough. That's not too bad. Because that Spore's not close enough. You have to cancel it. There's no way. And get out of there. Oh, run away, run away. Yeah, Oli takes a fair amount of damage there. His 1-1 upgrades are not too far behind. So if you click on his 1-1 upgrades, which are not jumping me there because they're on the bottom of my screen, we've got 47 seconds and what is that, 49. So about 50 seconds. About, what is that, 54 right now. Carapace 47, melee is at 50. So yeah, very similar upgrade timings, turns just ahead by about 10 seconds. Second factory going down very early. Second factory and armory before 4th command center. So Oliveira wants to go straight into heavy Widow Mine. He wants drilling claws as quickly as possible. So he's going to play the Biomine multi-prong, and he's going to try and basically out-multitask Shin, out-fight him on these sides, and see if he can kind of swamp him. I like a few Zerglings going across for the counterattack. That's a good call. Hydra Den on the way. Shin's going to play Hydraling Bane this game. Oh, Widow Mine's there. Bio Hellions. Marine's going to find a queen. No, he doesn't quite get it. Oh, not quite, not quite, not quite. Okay, he pulls back. Baneling's going to the left side. He's going to try and get on that base, but the Banshees are so good at defending. That's not enough Banelings to kill a depot and get in the mineral line. If he clicks on the depot, he'll get one Baneling through. But he doesn't actually kill anything other than the depot. So Oliveira just does a supply drop, quickly replaces that. And look at that, guys. Plus 100 hit points on that depot. Patch changes in effect. Get wrecked, Zerg players. Keep whining. Hellbats, oh god, very clumped, very clumped. Oh, I think he went a little bit too far forward there, did Ollie. It's a good trade for Shin, man. Shin might be able to get a 2-0 here. You got to be careful. I mean, I'm not calling it by any means. It's definitely not over, but felt like he gave up a little bit of momentum on that side. It's nice that he's clearing creep here, though. +2 attack. He remembered to start +2 attack. That's really important. 3 more barracks building. 4th command center almost finished. Hydra's starting to build now. That's the first Hydra in the production tab. Good hot pickup in the north. And what's the queen count? 9. Still got queens there. Widow Mine drop tries to come in. Dude, the placement on those Widow Mines was absolutely sensual. That was. Sensual. Really? That's the word I'm going to... Sometimes I use words and I go, is that really where that word belongs? But I think there's like a little troll in the back of my brain that just sometimes likes using the wrong word because it sounds funny. I don't know. Anyways, double drop goes to the north right there. Massling Bane coming out. Hydra count is growing. Doesn't have muscular augment started just yet, though. The pressure that Oliveira is putting on him is mounting. Now, don't get me wrong. Shin's defended well so far. He's down 1,300 resources. That's not too bad. But he doesn't have good creep control to get a 5th base up. And this is where Oliveira could start to almost Zerg the Zerg player. You know, swarm over the Zerg. Gets the hatchery snipe. Gets a few Widow Mine hits. Picks up, pulls back, and unloads there. Would be really nice. Hydra with the Overseer could clean up these Widow Mines. That Widow Mine on the right side gets a decent shot. And the Marine's going to maintain the high ground. Meanwhile, on the right side, it looks like that drop just got cleaned up, though. Banshee's going to go down. Drop's going to go down. Uh-oh. A little bit wasteful for Oliveira. Shin might not be the absolute fastest player in the world, but right now he's playing incredibly quick. 600 average APM. This man got macros. Like, what's he doing? No doubt using repeat rate at an insanely high rate on his keyboard, holding down those buttons to queue up Zerglings, spread creep tumors, all that sort of stuff, morphing Banelings, making Zerglings. at such an incredible rate. Widowmine's unburrowing and then burrowing. Marines dancing forward. Widowmine's going to get a few shots off. Okay, drop on the bottom side. Hasn't been used in a while. He's going to unload that. This is where if Oliveira can keep up this trading, 3,000 resource advantage, it's very tough for Zerg. And I feel like on this map, this is the scary stage where you got to hang on, survive, and get to Hive. But Hive is nowhere near. Muscular Augments is done now. 2-2 upgrades are done. If you can get a range upgrade would be nice. Banelings clean up a few of the Marines and a Marauder in the top. Bottom base, though, is in trouble. Lingbane drags a few Widowmines. Hatchery, though, just doesn't have enough Guardians. It's going to go down, man. The Hydra Lingbane, not enough. And Oliveira, I mean, I almost would have dived in the main if I was him because I'm a crazy guy like that. I know Bjorn would have, but he's continuing to just siege these sides. And good choice to pick up and get out of there. Boost is off cooldown, though. So will the Hydras get a medevac? Oh, Oli. He's watching the top side. There's a big fight up there. But we're going to watch this because, oh, okay, he does save one medevac, but he lost a full medevac and one half full. He was very focused on that top side. Shin gained some ground on that top side of the map. Really well done by Shinny Shin. Grab you by the shins on your Shinny Shin. Grab you by the hairs on your Shinny Shin. I guess that's how we could make that line work in future. Just popped into my head. I don't know why. Haven't really been hearing nursery rhymes and stories of the three little pigs too often, but somehow that's in my brain. Widowmine landing a few shots. Good Marauder starter step, but without a big ball of Marines, you can't clean the Zerglings. You need a big ball of Marines there to deal with the Zerglings. Changelings down there. I keep seeing those red dots and wondering what Oliveira has right next to the Zerg, but it is just Changelings. +1 range, Lurkaden Hive, finally on the way. Units lost tab actually closed the gap really well. So yeah, when it was small to medium scale, I feel like Oliveira is out microing Shin. But as the fights get really big, it's hard to manage everything. And it feels like the fights become a bit friendlier to the Zerg A-moving their stuff and getting better trades. So, you know, the skill floor and ceiling both are absolutely insane for Terran vs. Zerg. The amount of value you can get out of these units if you micro them, so big. Bioghost Mine coming forward, perfectly timed reinforce. Ling's getting in the third base is nice, but no adrenal glands just yet. They're not going to do that much. Get themselves 1 or 2 SCVs and they back away. It's a lot of Lingbane Hydra. It's only a few Widowmines here, man. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of Banelings. Oliveira trying to stutter step his way away. He does not want to get hit by those Banelings, guys. He does not want to get hit by those Banelings. The Baneling's trying to get on top, and he waits to the last second, picks up, pulls back. Was that a good trade for Oliveira? I think my instincts say yeah. Yeah, 4,000 resources, units lost ahead. He's focusing on just one area now, though, which simplifies the problem. And with a Lurkaden up, Lurker upgrades on the way, Nidus Worm on the way, Shin can get some spotters in the back of the base. He could turn this around and go from the defensive game to actually potentially surprising Oliveira with the Nidus in the back and getting back in charge. Libs are building along with the Fusion Core. We know that Liberators are kind of the counter to Nidus Lurker, but they're also just very good units for harassment, good on the front line as well. Great job on the creep respread. He's been under so much pressure, yet somehow Shin has respread creep across this whole southern and middle side, and it's only in the north where Oliveira is still keeping a dent into enemy territory. Quad drop goes to the left side. Lingbane Hydra trying to break the rocks. The Banelings want to blow themselves up on those rocks, but thankfully the Lings were blocking them. Oh my gosh. It's kind of dangerous to just do that, but oh, the ghosts are a bit far forward. The Widow Mines! Oh, holy Widow Mine! He got like 1 or 2 really good Widow Mines, but a lot of his army's on the wrong side of the map, and right now that third base is going to go boom boom. Zerg is hungry, Zerg is excited, and Zerg is overwhelming. The rest of the Terran army comes back, but there's Nidus Lurker in the main as well. Oh me, oh my. Lots of workers going down. Zerg backs out the front door and leaves the Lurkers inside. That's the way to do it. Lingbane Hydra. Lurkers morphing on the front. Wow, he's engaging. Lingbane could do okay here, man. Crazy fight for Oliveira. What the hell? Is Shin just going to get a 2-0 here? No way. I can't believe it, man. Shin's just playing so good. And he played like solo this game. He just defended for like 10 minutes, 12 minutes, and then exploded into aggression. So well done. Ooh. Lurker's going to be pulling back there into those Nidus Worms. Nidus Worm does disappear as well. Pig, do you think the Ultralisk nerf is enough to compensate for the Ghost nerf? No. Aren't we just going to have to turtle on mass tanks when ultras come out? I think libs and marauders. Tanks are okay versus ultras, but not that amazing. Like, they can help hold defensive positions behind wall-offs for sure. But I imagine lib marauders the goal. I think you're absolutely right that there definitely will be a challenge for Terran. I think you're going to see a lot more Terrans going 8 racks, going 3 base timings, playing momentum-based styles. And you know, like the Maru style where he kind of opens the way Oliveira did this game, but he never goes mass orbital because he never wants to slow the pace down, and he just goes 90 SCVs and just keeps trading biomine all game long. We might see that become the norm with the new patch. I talked a lot in my video about it, which you guys can see !patch if you're watching live on Twitch chat, about how that's what we have to keep our eye on. Is like the Ultra going to be too strong, and is the lack of ghost power, you know, is there going to be enough power in Liberators and Bio and the other units? Because we see a lot of players rush 5 bases up really early these days, and that is hard to deal with. Dude, Oliveira fighting back right now. The libs shredding the Hydras. The Hydras are getting shredded. This is a bad fight for Shin. Shin does not have the numbers. The libs actually win that fight. Oh my lord, there's a Nidus up top. He needs these lurkers out here. He needs them out now. Shin, he's going to lose this base. He's got to give this up. He can't fight here. He cannot be fighting into the libs front on. Advanced ballistics libs are ruining him. Look at the girth on those lib zones, guys. I mean, right now, Shin, it's like he's trying to pleasure a Terran, but he's realizing even with all of his Hydras going arm to arm, it's like 20 people trying to put their arms around one of those giant Californian redwood trees. I know I've used that analogy before, but honestly, let's be real, guys. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, you know? You go to some 1-year-old tree in your backyard, you can reach your arms around it single-handedly. You go into those great ancient Pacific forests on the west coast of the US, those trees are gigantic. And it's much like these libs. And I think Shin was thinking, oh, we got some shrubs, we got some trees, I can put my Hydra arms around this. That was the girthiest circle ever. And Shin, he lost a lot of Hydras, he lost a lot of units in that fight. Oh, not quite quick enough on the split. Down 8,000 resources. I want to see him go around. Libs are a siege unit. They're not the most mobile. So if Shin can kind of go around, maybe split his army half and half and counterattack and force the Liberators to respond to him, I think that's better than fighting front on. He's got 3 Vipers. They're always waiting for the Viper engaging in. If he can abduct all of the Liberators while he overwhelms, it pulls them out of siege mode, and that can be massive. But if an EMP lands, that could ruin his day. And you know Oliveira's looking for it. Look at that ghost. That is his ghost. If he can get an EMP or a double EMP, sorry, on those Vipers to get rid of all their energy, that's going to be game-changing. Massive spready, massive spready, massive spready. And he's got to give it up. Shin has to give up the base. He's lost the middle left. Now he's lost this right base. Shin's economy is getting battered. Oliveira fighting back. This man has become a god of the late game recently, hasn't he? We see so many awesome late games. The girthy circle's moving forward. He's going to try and jump on him as they move forward. Hydra Bane rolling. Oliveira screws up. He unsieges every lib at once, and his whole army gets wiped. What? Did the Hydras try to run away, or were they actually not enough to kill them? Even then, even catching all the libs unsieged, he wasn't able to kill them. The lib girth is wild. What? That's so crazy. I thought they'd kill all the libs. I guess you got to realize that, like, hit points versus damage versus supply. Hydras are 2 supply, libs are only 3. But the libs are like double, more, they're double the hit points of the Hydras. They've got like more hit points, way more damage once they do start shooting. So even though there was a delay and the fight started terrible, yeah, that was like a proper fight. They were like, we've captured, you know, we've caught them off guard. Let's go. And you know, the bloody rebels there, they didn't realize, yeah, you caught him off guard. You got Pearl Harbor. What are you going to do now? Like, that's essentially what that last fight was, you know? It's like, all right, we got Pearl Harbor, guys. You're like, you realize this is still the American military you're dealing with, right? Like, freedom! You know, there's, to be fair, that was another pretty good fight for Zerg there, but I think he's just a bit too low on money, and with the Widowmine hits, I mean, parts of it were good, parts of it were bad, right? The Widowmine hits are kind of nasty. It does look like this is going to be enough now. Oliveira's got his 6th base up down the bottom. 5th base? 6th base, because he's got this one on the right as well. And you can tell Shin just lost his income. Like, his income's been gone. You might be like, oh, no, he's got income. Yeah, that's because this base down here is up. But that base is so easy to snipe. Like, the moment Oliveira realizes that base is there, and actually he knows it's there, he can just send a single lib, a few Marines. It's going to get shut down super hard, man. Yeah, we'll have to rewatch this fight, guys. I really want to rewatch that fight at the end of this replay because there was a good amount of Hydras, but there was a pretty insane amount of Liberators. Not every day you see someone go this heavy on Ghost Lib. It's a very good army against Hydras. I always say Corruptors are much better than Hydras late game when it comes to dealing with Liberators. And I've talked about this a lot over the last year. And every pro I've talked about this has vehemently disagreed with me. They've said, no, you're wrong. Hydras do everything. They're a good unit. Corruptors are a bad unit, Pig. And I'm like, look, just when you look at their hit points for supply, the Corruptors are worth more when you're maxed out. And that's the real issue. And they also, Corruptors can't get hurt by Libs, which obviously matters. Matters a whole lot. So let's take a look at this fight, guys. So I thought that was a good amount of Hydras. So this is a huge mistake for Oliveira. He wins the game despite it, but like, that's crazy that he unsieges every Lib at once. Got a bit too cocky. Now that is how many Libs, guys. I'm not good at counting. 4, 8, 11. This is okay. So this is 11 Liberators, and he's gonna jump on top of. Dude, that's a lot of Hydras. That's 16 Hydras. Wow. I feel like the 16 Hydras should win this. But I guess that they're attacking Marauders and Marines at the start of the fight. Ah, yeah. Oh, and then he tries to frenzy through the zones. But because he frenzies forward, they're attacking Ghosts a little bit. Oh, yeah, so he was fighting Ghosts and Marauders and he was stutter stepping a little bit. So the 16 Hydras, they kind of fought ground a little bit. They moved a little bit. And they only had +2 attack. And the Liberators had that cancelled with the +2 vehicle plating. So fair call. GG, well played. Oliveira with a nice comeback this game. Ties up the series 1-1. All right, guys. Game 3 is on Amphion. I can't wait to see these guys go at each other on the new map pool on El Dorado, the new Amphion. The new Golden Wall, some people are calling it. It's a pretty fun map. But for now, we got Amphion, which is also quite a cool map. And we're going to go pool first, which makes sense. Pool first, very... Excuse me, guys, burping into my microphone. Very common because, of course, we always talk about the Reaper can jump here. It's the shortest rush distance Reaper map in the entire pool. Some people were arguing about getting impact back for Zealots, the charge damage. Yeah, the charge damage is... You know what's... So I've seen a lot of misinformation about that. I don't mind people asking for the 8 damage back on the Zealot charge. It is a bit scary because Zealots are a very powerful unit at regular Joe level for sure. I don't know if it would make Zealots amazing versus top pros. I think that's one where I'm like, it's one of the few times I'm worried for the average Joe because Zealots are very scary. There was a bit of misinformation though on Reddit. I saw some people say Zealots used to have 30 charge. They were actually a good unit. Then they nerfed it to 8. Then they nerfed it again down to nothing. And this was damage which would happen when the Zealot would charge a unit. It was a guaranteed bonus on the unit that they hit with their charge. The 30 damage was tested when they first brought that ability out in like a beta of Heart of the Swarm or Legacy. I think maybe beta of Legacy of the Void. Legacy of the Void. And it was on like a PTR for like a month. It was never in the actual game because they very quickly were like, oh my god, everyone's just A-moving Zealots so easy. Like 30 damage is crazy, right? It's crazy. So yeah, there was someone who there was 1 or 2 people I saw mentioning that and making it out like that was in the actual game, and they're like, man, yeah, it was like they were good. I'm like, come on, they weren't good. They were tested on one patch, similar to like the Warhound. If we're saying that was in the game, we're saying the Warhound was in the game. We can say the Herc was in the game. Those are 2 Terran units that never made it into an actual released version of the game. For those who don't know, they were just in like beta versions of Heart of the Swarm and stuff. Definitely, if you guys are part of Team Make Zealots Great Again, by the way, just keep in mind, if you guys struggle against Terran at all, you guys need to watch Heaven's stream, twitch.tv/HeavenSC, and he's basically created the toxic influence on the NA ladder called teaching people how good armor upgrades are. And Guardian Shield, he doesn't even use Guardian Shield much, to be fair. Dude, I've been just going back to it, especially on the new patch with like Phoenix and Oracle openings and Zealots. Dude, those armor upgrades are so good. They're so good against Marines, yeah. So this is something I was mentioning it earlier, but people don't realize because they just copy what pros do. Guys, armor upgrades are amazing on Zealots. They're 2/3 hit points, only 1/3 shields. And Marines do very low damage, but at high increments. Now, if you get a plus attack upgrade, Zealots don't necessarily kill Marines or Marauders that much faster. But if you get armor upgrades, and especially if you keep chronoing them and you get ahead, you get like +3 armor when they don't have +2 attack yet, Marines do nothing. And Marines are what Terran focuses on as their main fighting unit for the first like 6-7 minutes of the game, and it's not really until about 9 minutes onwards when Marauders and then eventually Ghosts take over as the main fighting units with just a few Marines sprinkled in. So it's crazy. It's very, very effective. Marauders also don't do bonus damage to Zealots, so their like damage is pretty low as well, so armor does help there. Oh, Shinny Shin. Oh my gosh. Get him. He's gonna get him, I think. It's gonna cost him a lot of Zerglings, but only one Hellion, which means you just don't have enough firepower. Oh, his micro is good, though. Oliveira is like, I can macro and micro at the same time, mate. He's going to get that Hellion home. That's awesome. That's really cool. He did do a 3cc into 2-1-1 build, so he doesn't have a lot of mobility. You really want to keep that Hellion alive because it's your only mobile scout unit. But he's got 2 medevacs on the way, up against double Evo chamber and some more gases. So yeah, the attack upgrades, the reason top Protoss focus on that, guys, is because for top Protoss, the top Terran pros are too good at defending Zealot attacks and Zealot multi-prong. So because of that, if you don't get attack upgrades early, by the time you do get forced to transition into Colossus, your Colossus will suck if they don't have any attack upgrades. So that's why the pros do focus on attack first. But if they are especially Zealot heavy, you'll occasionally see them if they play Phoenix Charge first. They might open with an armor upgrade first, or they might go like +1 attack, then +1 armor before continuing into attack upgrades. Meals there. All right, drop's going to rotate around. Ooh, Overlord taken down. Not bad. Bit of free damage there. Queens and Lings on the right side. 60 drones here against 51 SCVs, but the third's landed for Terran. That medevac already so damaged, though, so the Marines have to be cautious. Nice transfuse at the last second. Very well done there. Shin does defend. I like this defense for Shin. Very safe. 35 Zerglings and 10 Queens is about as solid as you can get. Remember, these Queens are more expensive now, but Shin, happy to invest. He says, Queens are the answer. Queens are my favorite. Oh! Get some Marine for a few Zerglings. Not bad. Tank production's on the way. We've already got a Zergling run by. I think that's probably going to be a Baneling run by. If you run in the mineral line, the tank will actually kill your own SCVs. Ooh. Good pullback. Another Overlord snipe. Starting to stack up little bits of damage there. Remember, the second one did survive over here with the transfuses, though. Banelings are morphing. 1-1s are almost done. Baneling speed starting up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gases. Very standard 5 gas play for Shin. Shin finds the Marines down there. This is so awkward. You got to open these minerals up, so you got a bit more freedom of movement. Or you have to take the middle hatchery here. He's going to go middle hatchery. If you can get really good creep on the right side, I do like the bottom right side, but if they're hanging around here with a drop this early, it's just prohibitively difficult to get to that bottom right corner and secure that base. Banelings. Banelings. Banelings on the top side. Oh, great tank position. Gets himself a depot that's building and a few SCVs. A few Marines got left behind. What? He goes back for them. Mate, a bit too greedy. Going back in there with a Reddit point medevac. Should have left him. Armory is finished. When's 2-2 going to start, guys? 2-2's already started for Shin. Shin chases these Marines away in the middle. And Oliveira's got to fix his macro up a little bit. 2-2's building. That 4th command center is finally rebuilding as well. And guys, that Zergling was running towards the tank. The tank shot it and it bounced forward. I guess the tank shot landed behind it is the explanation for that. So the force of the explosion kind of shoved the Zergling towards the tank. That's cool. Oh, a bit of a miss micro there for Oliveira, guys. Uncharacteristic, man. Shin is one of these players who I think it's really hard to attack into because he's so on point with shutting down your aggression normally. So I think Oliveira's trying to play very standard here. And he's getting punished. He's getting punished. Yeah, this is why you see Beyond Turtle against Shin. Because Shin is just so good at jumping on you. Oh, you're in my territory? Let's go. Oh, you trying to attack over here? Let's go. He's always on top. Single Zergling down there distracting on that side. You got to be careful. And this is why Beyond likes to mass command centers. Because not only does Shin throw big crazy attacks at you, he's just good at getting out off of creep. Like Solar just sits on creep all game, right? But Shin will get out off creep and jump on you. He'll go for the ambush. Very nice way to play. A couple Widowmine shots landing, a few SCVs going down, Marines as well. Tank's going to take some damage. Link Bane rolling in, rolling out. Widowmine hit does take out a bunch of Marines up there as well. We've got units rotating around. 72, 71 SCVs, 83 drones, 9 more drones on the way. Oh, is Shin gonna Ragnarok this game? So for those who don't know, Shin is Ragnarok's old name, by the way, just in case you're wondering what the hell I keep talking about. And he was famous for just making mass Baneling and moving them into either the best or worst fights you've ever seen, depending on the day. It was always like, which Shin has woken up today? Because Shin might overwhelm his opponent with like just 85 Banelings and it looks amazing. Or he'll roll 85 Banelings into just a field of Widowmine Thor and lose every one for one Thor. And you're like, oh no. But he's going Hive. He's going Lurkiden. And he's got a giant 91 drone economy. So Oliveira is going to need to match him in the late game. Remember, this is pre-Ghost nerf. You can play late game. Oh, this is a nice position. There's no Viper. This is a pre-Viper timing. Oh man, Oliveira has a lovely angle. Oh, let's look at that setup. I don't think you can defend this. There's no way. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way he's going to engage that, guys. So he's got the bottom right base. So I think that's fine to give that base up. But even with Vipers coming out, I mean, are they going to be in time? Does Oliveira pull back? He's going to keep going. Oh, he unsieged all of his tanks just like the Libs in the last game. Shin's going to attack into it, but, oh man. Yeah, he gets a few tanks, but at what cost? Because he was attacking around a corner in a clump. If he was coming from 2 or 3 sides, I think the tanks all being unsieged could have been game deciding. Remember, there was a lot of Hydraling Bane set up on the right side to defend potential drops that was not able to help with the first engage. It's now here involved in this push. But does he have enough to break the tank position? If he doesn't, Oliveira may just win with this position. Ling Remax coming in, or Ling Reinforce, I should say. But Marines and Mines coming in as well. It's so close right now. 2-2 against 2-2. Upgrades, their tank survives. And that's a really big problem. The Marines trying to chase down the Queens. The creep is receding. The wall of meat that is these Queens. It represents such an obstacle for Oliveira, who wants to hold this position, but he just can't quite. And you know what? That might favor Shin. I know that sounds crazy after all those fights, but look, units lost tab's kind of close. You dealt with all the tanks. You're on 90 workers. Oliveira's only on 74. Luca D supply, as Todd would say. That was actually a good hold for Shin. As crazy as it sounds after the start of the fight, it actually ended up being a good hold. All the tanks unsieging was a bit of a mistake for Oliveira. 3-3's on the way now, plus 2 vehicle weapons. Ghost Academy. Libs building as well. Oliveira wants to play with momentum. He wants to play with speed. Is he gonna go the distance? He's gonna go the distance. You guys know the song. Does take out the hatchery on that right side. He's gonna take out the command center in the top right. A single Zergling could deny this going up, which would be huge. What is that, guys? Why are there red marks on the ground? Somebody explain what I'm looking at. Oh, that's the range of something? Oh, that's the sensor tower range. I thought it was part of the map for a second. I forgot the sensor. They've gotten rid of that in the new patch. Thank the Lord, guys. It's so ugly. The team-colored circles on the scans look really on the sensor tower looks bad. I don't mind it on the scans. Nidus Worm Lurker in the main base. Oliveira's distracted. This is a distraction. Oh no! Oh my god, the Marauder and the SCVs. That's a 3-armor bad boy. Ghosts and Marauders there. He's gonna get it. He's gonna get it. But 4 Lurkers. Will he be able to take them down? A couple snipes go down. 1 Lurker falls. SCV's happy to take a few hits for the team. Double drop on the left side comes in there as well. The Zergling still clearing up this planetary in the top right-hand side of the map as this does get cleaned. But he's letting the next Nidus get up. Shin doggedly committing. Oh my gosh, the transfuses. Queens pop out and say band-aids for everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Planetary will not go down. It will take out the Zerglings in that side. But of course, that is not the most important fight. This is that siege tank getting some good shots off on the Queens. And the Lurker's taking some damage as well. But Oliveira, he's staying stable. He's not giving up. He is not giving up. Queens. Oh, the Hydras. Hydras coming out. Marauders, Ghosts, Libs, tanks trying to deal with this. The Reddit Point tank does run into Lurker range. It dies. The Nidus is starting to die. The Lurkers get out of there. A fantastic evacuation there. And 3, 4, 5 snipes land on the Overlord. And it leaves just a bit of a bloody spray, which does bug out a little bit and is literally sitting off the wall there. But you know, usually StarCraft's pretty tight with its graphics. That's one time where that blood splatter looked a little bit fake. Lurkers on the right side going to find a very damaged planetary. He's trying to build a turret behind that base, but those Lurkers will be an issue. And how the heck do you get back in this game as Oliveira? You're up against a rich Zerg with 88 workers, plus 3 carapace coming in, plus 1 range just kicked in. You are about to lose your 5th base, and you can't afford that. He's going to go for the combat drop. Drop it like it's hot, guys. That's what they said. Drop it like it's hot. Pop it, lock it, and get those Lurkers out of here. 4 Lurkers go down, but Shin answers with a thrust up the middle. He may lose those 4 Lurkers on the side, but if he breaks Oliveira in the middle, it could be game-winning. Oliveira with a nice spread of units and Widow Mines, though. Shin doesn't pick the fight. He grabs the tanks and gets out. He says, I don't want to take the risk. I think I can just keep poking around. He can rotate his main army to the top right. I think he's going to bust that top right corner while distracting in the main with yet another Nidus Worm. That Nidus only has one lurker in it, but even one lurker is going to distract. It's going to cause a lot of problems for an Oliveira who's already pressed to his limits. Trying to take a 6th base in the middle of the map right now. He's trying to split his army. Sensor Tower spots it, but he knows already there's no way he can hold on to that base. It's too far away. This corner base is always hard to defend. You can defend it if you have like tanks on the edges and sensor towers and ghosts and stuff, but easier said than done. He's been reeling for a while. He's going to send in what we call the Hon Mono, guys. The Hon Mono is where you grab a random bunch of bio and you just A-move it across the map without even using a medevac. It's used by Hon Mono, a 6K Korean Terran player, best known for his creative strategies, his cheesy games, and his lack of following any sort of rules when he plays StarCraft. The Hon Mono does not pay off for Oliveira. He manages to get a drop shot down on the left. The Hon Mono on the right goes down. On the left side, we've got some Widow Mines and some Marines coming in. He's going to try and go forward there. Widow Mines. Oh, no spreadies for Shin. Shin does not have those Rainer hands, that's for sure. No offense to Shin. That's not me saying Shin's bad. Shin's very fast. But really, Rainer is one of the few players who will reliably, almost every single time, spread Zerglings in a situation like that in an intense game such as this. Shin does have the right side gold base up. If he could take the left side middle base as well, mine those both out, that would give him a lot of power in the long game. Right now, he's only down about 3,000 resources in the units lost, which is way too close for comfort for the Terran, who's only on 3 orbitals. Oh, no. I mean, he's building a lot more commands on his, but 3 orbitals is not enough. I also think Oliveira might be making a mistake by trying to take another base. I know that sounds weird, but I feel like it's so hard for him to even defend his initial 5. I think he should take the 6th base in the top right rather than this one. I think this base is impossible to defend. I mean, basically when Shin finds out about that, he shuts it down, in my opinion. Shin's shoving the front. This is a distraction. Nidus Worm. A few Overseers and Zerglings go down. Oh, Shin, pull back, bro. Shin committing to the rocks way too doggedly, throws away a whole bunch of Zerg, and he's also supply blocked. You got to overbuild Overlords in this matchup. 3 Overseers coming in right now. Command Center will go up. Always feels like Oliveira is so close to bloody Overseer in the corner spotting for him, and he's going to try and snipe that bad boy down. It survives on 1 hit point. Oh, that, guys, I've never seen something in StarCraft that was more than that Overseer right there. That Overseer pulls back and is like, I'm going to slowly heal up, starts licking his wounds. You know he's going to spot for some Nidus Worms later on, and that's got to be frustrating. No Vikings on the map to deal with it. He could unsiege a Liberator. That's always a bit awkward. The Overseer lives to perv again. Marines. Oh, another Hon Mono on the right side. Actually, this is actually a really good one. Ah, the Lings are there. Gets a few drones, nothing too crazy. Nidus Worm on the left side. Lurkers emerging right now. A vom of Lurkers. Anything that comes out of a Nidus Worm in a decent amount at an unexpected pace with a whole bit of momentum, I call a vomit. It's going to try and get forward with those. Honestly, I think vomit should probably just be something I've reserved for roaches since they actually vomit as their attack, but it is what it is. Widow Mine and tank there are slowly wearing on this. 1 Lurker goes down, but on the right side, Blinding Cloud comes in. There's not enough support. Banelings, a Ragnaroker Banelings blows up that planetary fortress. And that's the Ragnarok we know and love. I know he's changed his name to Shin. His human name is Shin He Bomb, for those who don't know. His old name, player name, was Ragnarok, which is one of the cooler names. And yet, like many players in recent years, he has changed it. Don't mind it when a player just changes their name to their actual human name. That's fair enough. Alright, guys, we've got Spire on the way. 2nd Spire. No air upgrades just yet, but he's making 13 Corruptors. Our boy Shin is thinking about trying to surprise him with a Broodlord timing. Trying to break through. There are 12 siege tanks in this map. And that means he is vulnerable to Broodlords. Remember, guys, this is also on the patch. I talked about the Broodlords. These ghosts may still be 2 supply. But guess what? Those Broodlords are going to have the bug fix or behavioral fix, whichever way you want to look at it. They will get their first shot off much faster. Their initial damage output will be way higher. Dude, this is so hard to deal with. He's got to wait for Liberators to clean it up. It's what Clem was talking about when we asked him what he thought of the rogue strategy. He said, I think if I just make libs, I can deal with it, but without libs, Lurkinitis is a problem. And this seems to be the pro approach to this is, I don't mind if you keep throwing Nidus Worms because everyone gives me money. I'm just going to roll with the punches, let you donate me Niduses and Lurkers, and that's how I'll win the game eventually. Big push on the left. Widow Mines and tank trying to defend Blinding Cloud, and another Ragnarok of Banelings goes in and takes Mr. Oliveira to Boomtown. A few snipes did land. 2 Vipers, 13 Lurkers, a ton of Lings and Banes have died in this game. Oh, he's got him. He's got him. Does he, though? Oliveira has a giant army, but he doesn't know about the Broodlords. This is the problem, is Oliveira is getting forced to essentially go for an all-in. Viper of Ducks 2 goes into the Ling Bane. Damn, imagine that. You get literally tongued by some big old alien lass without her even giving you any warning or asking permission. And then her friends literally throw acid water balloons on your face. That is an absolutely evil way to go, mate. But that's Shin's goal, right? You gotta win the war game, man. You must kill and defeat your opponents. 13 Broodlords are here. Oliveira has a giant army, but I don't think he has an answer to the Broodlords. Then again, there's only 4 Infestors. If he lands the snipes, he might be able to do this. I mean, Oliveira's economy is in the dumpster right now. It's all about the Broods versus Ghosts. Where are the Overseers? Where are the Overseers? There they are. Overseer Lingbane coming forward. Got to be careful with the Infestor. He lands a Fungal, but only gets a single Ghost. That Ghost goes down. Look how quickly. Actually, you just need Overseers. Because Broodlords beat Ghosts in this patch. Broodlords annihilate Ghosts in this version, remember, guys. They will always shoot fast enough to interrupt the snipe. Previously, the Broodlords would have about a 1.5 to 2 second delay on them throwing the first Broodling at max range, but now they throw it instantly. They are so much more powerful in this version. This is what we did those 2 back-to-back videos about, explaining how this Broodlord change works. So those Broodlords are way more effective, not to mention they're catching a flat-footed Oliveira with a low economy, a heavy siege tank, Ghost army, no Thors, no Vikings. 2 Thors are building right now, but they won't have the upgrades just yet, and these Broodlords are going to cause a lot of problems. Shin's army control is very lacking right now. Not very impressive the way he's using his army. He also lacks anti-air right now. I don't think it's going to matter. I think he's going to be able to overwhelm anyway. He's got almost no anti-air. He needs Corruptors to deal with the Liberators. He's going to fall back for the moment. It feels like Shin doesn't have his units on separate control groups right now, guys. I'm going to be a little critical there. It feels like his Broodlords and his Festers are on the same control group, which is okay if you don't need to do any finesse micro. But if you do get in a situation where they've got the Thors, the Vikings, and the Ghosts, that's going to hurt him. Overseers going into pervert mode. Infestors are close. He's looking for the Fungal. Good pull. He's got to rotate these Infestors. These Infestors are a little too clumped. Look at how quick the initial Broodlings will shoot out at max range. You're going to see them fire immediately, whereas normally the Broodlings would hover in front for 1.5 seconds, then they'd throw. You can see this is huge. And because of that, they start recharging their second shot a full 2 seconds quicker as well. The initial damage output is massive. Yeah, this is... Look how quickly they shoot at the maximum range. There's no delays. Yeah, it really does make a big, big difference. Don't get me wrong. If we want to make the Brood stronger, I think it's one of the coolest ways to do it. But just interesting to see it in action now after going through all those videos and that deep dive digesting it. Oliveira does not seem to have an answer. He's like, dude, this is rough. The Lingbane Infestor already makes it hard for his Ghost to engage. But with the Broodlord, it makes it even harder. Here we go. Oh, watch out for that Widow Mine. He fungals the Liberator, which is more of a spite fungal than anything meaningful. It's more of a screw you Liberator. This is what I think of your freedom. Command Center on the left side. Not much stuff there. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Broodlords getting in there. Fungals are going to land partially. EMP's got most of the Infestors. The Ghost just got obliterated by Banelings. Oh, the Overseers need to get back in there. His Overseers weren't in the fight. Big mistake. Takes a lot more snipes than he should have there because his Overseers ran off to the side. And looks like the Broodlords are going to get taken down. That I was not expecting. I do think a lot more snipes went down than should have. But of course, Oliveira has no income. Shin has a big bank. He can instantly remax. And that is a very nice game 3 for Shin. I love the multi-prong. I really feel like Shin got himself a good lead in the mid-game with the Nidus Worms, the Banelings finding these exposed bases we were talking about, and just a really fun back and forth series between these two. But keep in mind, this was played on the previous version of the PTR a few days ago, so we'll have more series coming up with the new balance changes in the near future. GG, well played.